Okay, we're going to call the meeting to order. Any disclosures of pecuniary interest in the general interest thereof? There being none, if I can get an adoption of the minutes from our Water Wastewater Committee dated March 28th, 2023. Moved and support Councillor Micho Spagnolo. All in favor? That carries. Yep. Did I do it too fast? Sorry. I know it's not in the agenda, but we'll do the land acknowledgement statement. We acknowledge that the ground on which we live is the traditional territory of Caldwell First Nation, of the Three Fires Confederacy, and the original people of Point Pelee and Pelee Island and its surrounding lands and waters, and that of the Huron-Wendat and Wyandot peoples. We recognize and respect the First Nations who are stewards of the land and waters of Turtle Island and who have embraced this stewardship since time immemorial. We would also like to acknowledge the contributions of other nearby First Nation communities and all original people across Turtle Island. We will move into items for consideration. D1, Ms. Petro.
Good afternoon, members of committee. This first report is regarding the, as required by the Safe Drinking Water Act, the town hires Aqua to conduct the internal audit to meet the requirements, and this happens once a year. And also we hire NSF International to conduct the external audit of our drinking water quality management system. And I've enclosed both audit reports for the previous audits, and also this was our, every 3 years of the cycle, we go through a full accreditation. So the audit is a little bit different, it's longer, and the auditor goes through all the elements of the operational plan in details. And it takes about 2 days. And any findings, we have to close all the findings before the system certificate is renewed. So I also attached the system certificate at the end of the reports, as we have closed all the findings that were in the reports. Is there any questions regarding those two reports?
Members of council, Councillor Reno?
Yes, just in regards to the NSF report, had two minor issues. One, I believe, was on instrumentation. What do we do to change that? What did we do to fix that problem and to make it compliant? So
that one, actually, we were able to fix it right away. It was a typo, and we have reports that we do the instrumentation. It's like a calibration. It's not really calibration, but it's kind of similar. It's a verification every month, beginning of the month. Before we take it, we use those. We have 5 units for chlorine residual. We have standards that we use them to verify that each unit meets the standards before we use it beginning of the month, in case, because sometimes they vary, they get old, and they don't read quite right. So there was one of these, the serial number were kind of incorrect, and it was a typo. So it still met the requirement, but they were off. So during the audit, that's what the auditor had found, and then we found that it was a typo, and then we corrected it moving forward.
That's perfect, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, there's a recommendation before you that the report of the Manager of Water and Wastewater dated May 8th, 2023 regarding the Drinking Water Quality Management System internal external audit reports for 2022 be received. Moved by Councillor Reno. Support, Councillor Carrick. All in favor? That carries. Item 2, Ms. Petros.
Also, as part of the Drinking Water Quality Management System, there is a requirement for the operating authority to conduct at least annually. It's called the management review meeting, and we go through a number of items that we discuss internally. And it was in the past, it was recommended that we would conduct that management review meeting right after we complete the internal audit. So in case if there is any findings, we would discuss it before the external audit takes place. And then during the external audit, it was noted that since the timing of our audits are kind of at the end of the year, it was more recommended that we would, that meeting would take place beginning of the year. This way we would have a full cycle of a full calendar year of data that we would review during the meeting. So that's why we had conducted one in November and another one, it was done in February. So in front of you, there is the minutes from those two meetings, and those are live actions. So we go through these minutes every month, and as we go through the year, we complete whatever is needed in order to close them before the end of the year.
Thank you. Council? Councilor Reno, move to receive, support. Councilor Richo Spagnolo, all in favor? That carries. And item 3, back to you again.
So item 3, administration thought it would be a good idea to show the history of water main break. So I went through all the data from 20 years ago and wanted to give some brief history of like what we have in our system for the distribution system. We have 228 kilometers of water main total. 52 kilometers is the ductile and cast iron, which is at the time it was the main source of using for the water main. And then PVC came into the market, and it proved that it works better for like less breakage and tuberculation, and also less friction in the pipe, so it doesn't reduce any pressure. So as we're going through all our water main replacement programs, we have reduced number of water main breaks, also the water quality. So we're in the old water main, as the water main starts corroding, there is more tuberculosis, so it becomes narrower and narrower, and more bacteria could also find its way into those gaps. So that's why we also have like flushing programs that we conduct every summer in order to clean those mains. And I wanted just to go through the chart where, the table. It shows in 2002, we had 68, and then 95, and then 48, the fluctuation of number of breaks within the calendar year. And as we're replacing more water mains, we can see the number dropping. Also, that's not mentioned in the report, but I also did another calculation to see what is our water loss. So about 12, 13 years ago, I did the quick math and wanted to see where our system is with the water loss. So compared how much water we purchase from N1 versus how much water is sold to the customers, the metered. And we were about 12, 13%, which is usually ideal for percentage of loss for any distribution system. For last year only, we have dropped it to 4.2%. So that's significant improvement. And it's even speaking to our neighboring municipalities, like this number is very, very well, very good number, because it's usually over 10 and they consider it good system, and we're at 4.2% water loss. So it seems like this is working.
Councilor Reno?
Just a comment. Thank you very much for the report. It shows that although there's a little blip this year, that we're moving in the right direction, and we have been obviously for close to 10 years. So thank you for the report. It's a good conversation starter when people talk about water mains and things like that. I guess my only question is, with this year's big replacement on Bouffard and Riam, does that total a kilometer, more than a kilometer? Because you quoted the kilometers in here, so now I'm really curious to see if we're going to knock a few kilometers off your number.
I believe that's, 4 kilometers total, I think? Yeah. So
Yes.
4 kilometers total for both projects, so we'll knock that off. And plus, we're doing Canada as well.
Councilor Burns?
Thank you very much. The 10% saving, so it should be 14, so we're roughly 10%. What does that equate to in dollars? Just ballpark figure, saving for the corporation.
Yeah, that's a tough question for me to do in math and
Doesn't have to
finance
be within the
and
penny, just a ballpark.
Both of them are
Trying to think.
Sorry, can we get that maybe reported back? from
Sure.
the-
Yeah, sure.
It's just important to know.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Great job.
Any other questions or comments regarding that report? Okay, recommendations there in front of you that we receive the report. Moved by Councillor Burns, support Councillor Desjardins. All in favor? That is carried. Any questions or statements, Councillor Reno?
Yes, thank you, Your Worship. I just wanted to mention, obviously, one person here knows for sure, but Councillor Burns, Deputy Mayor Akpata, and myself had a chance to tour the water plant last week, and it's quite an operation. Very clean, very progressive in the way that they take. They've got 8 major cells that they clean the water with, and they take one offline each year to make sure that it's rebuilt and cleaned up. And it was a very impressive tour, and unless anybody else has anything to add, I think it was very informative, and I'm glad I was given the opportunity.
You forgot Mr. Weigel was there too. Yes. Thank you for coming.
Councillor Carrick.
Just a quick question in regards to the meter readers. We haven't seen any issues come forward in the last probably well over a year or so. So does that mean we're not getting any little ones, or we're just doing a good job and the meters are working?
I'll speak for that. So it's both. We are doing good job on that one, but the problems are coming still through. Not as many as we used to have, because right now our percentage of non-read is very, very low. It's never going to be 0 because some don't communicate all the time. So, and we're repairing those as they come. Also, with the new system that we have in place now, that we can read to the hour, as people complain about their water bills, we can show them the charts, and we're like, at this day, this hour, this is when your leak started, and this is where it ended. So basically, they go, oh yeah, that was a long weekend, or some pump or something. So, and the system has been helping us a lot to find a lot of leaks before the homeowner even know about it. Sometimes it saves them thousands of dollars. So it's been good. We haven't had any that, some argue with back and forth, but once we show them the data, there's nothing they can argue about. So it's pretty solid.
Just a question on that. Do we actually flag it when there's an abnormal number that we're not used to seeing? Like, how do we help them?
So the system sends notifications. So we have some kind of thresholds in the system where if it's, I can't remember exact details, but if it's running, the water is running constantly for number of hours, number of days, and then it will send us, it sends the system basically a report. So we run that report weekly. Since we're not billing every month to the residential customers, because we bill every 3 months, so we don't want them wait until 3 months of the leak. So we run the report and we notify, we see, once the report comes in, we can click on the meter and see their consumption. So we're like, and then with time and experience, now we can look at the consumption, we can figure out what this abnormal consumption means. Sometimes it could be just filling up the pool, 2 days later it stops. Or it could be some pump that we can see it as, okay, it was raining that week, that was, must be water backup some pump. So we send notifications. If we have a phone number on hand, we usually call the customer, or we send them letters to tell them we suspect there is a leak, so they can check it. Sometimes they can't find it, so they give us a call. We send our staff as a courtesy to help them out with that as well.
Thank you. Councillor Richo-Spagnuolo.
Thank you. Through you, I just wanted to provide some positive feedback. So I did get a call from a resident in the disputed area, as well as Seven Lakes. I remember sending yourself and Jonathan an email back when there was about 10 to 15 residents that lost water pressure due to new builds. And they were very happy with your response and you guys going and taking some measurements on helping them out. So I just wanted to provide that positive feedback. So thank you.
Any other comments or statements? There being none, next meeting is scheduled for July 25th, 2023 at 4:30 p.m. and we will adjourn. Thank you.
Thank you.